On the bright side, any guards who are around the place all look unnecessarily elegant and beautiful, and like they've been picked for their elven, willowy good looks rather than for being tough and vicious.
By the way, I'm wearing the ceremonial court dress of my people, which is a gingham sundress and a big floppy straw.
Of course you are. I highly approve.
Did you, in the end, decide to bring either or both of the Ruamites?
Should know.
Yes.
Cleaned up and bandaged.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Well, we healed them by putting daisies on their head.
That's
you
right.
Did do nice things.
I did. And I also I was going to say, "Oh, you poor people," says the queen. Who possibly could have treated you so badly?
Right.
But fortunately, they're healed up.
Yep. Okay. In that case, they are healed up and there, and I don't know what I've done with their cards, which is why I can't remember what they're called. Which is very awful of me since we must kill them. I want to remember their names. Shem and Layla. Yeah, Shem and Layla. Obviously, there is an annoying Furbolg functionary who is taking the names of people who wish to speak to the Queen. And who probably has an irritating Furbolg name.
Do we want to be really provocative with our names? So that it's like Christabel, sister to so-and-so of the Hillfolk, leader of the Hillfolk.
I feel like dropping my name is the only real shot.
Starry Night family of Smith City and stuff like that. Daughter of Mothdrith. Scourge of the Hillfolk. That kind of thing.
He's scribbling away with a quill on a parchment, and it's getting increasingly long and long.
Right.
Representing the Alliance for Peace.
That's right.
Is this a charm roll in order to impress people?
Is it?
Could be.
Or I'm okay. You're kind of.
Is it a lie roll because you are not necessarily representing?
No. We are. I don't think we're lying. I mean, we're saying exactly who we are, as a matter of fact.
I just think, Star, you have the best charm. So if that's what's going on, what's going on. You do it.
Okay. I don't know if it's really a charm roll, but I'll make it. I mean,
well, I just wondered. I want to get an impression of whether you make a good impression.
Okay.
Chap with his unnecessarily severe hair.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Since he is controlling who gets to go to people and present them.
That makes more sense.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different thing with that particular role.
So, let's say I will give you a +1 column shift for amusing introduction.
Ooh, exciting.
Well, that puts us at a good with the column shift. Because I have rolled passable.
Excellent. So, he is at least a bit impressed with you. Is ushering you nearer the front of the queue of people seeking to speak to the Queen. And,
while he's writing that down, could Girl take a look over his shoulder to see if Numair's name is already on that list?
Don't see why not. Shall we call
search
that
roll?
I was going to say alertness or cunning, but depending. Catching a glimpse of it feels more like cunning to me, given some of the things that sit under cunning.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I can go with alertness if that's better for you.
Alertness is definitely better for me than cunning is.
For what I have used alertness for previously, I have set the preference alertness to spot something on his sheet of paper. Ever lengthening, unrolling roll of parchment.
Okay, I got a passable result.
Okay.
Kind of like the idea that the scroll is kind of like he has to like loop it fast because we're taking up so much room. I mean, you have to read it upside down.
Yeah, Girl is there, recording herself.
Yes, so you can see that right at the head of the piece of scroll is, as it rolls across the floor, is Numair, lawgiver of the of the nomads, although he is not in evidence at the moment. Clearly, he does not need to hang around with the hoi polloi begging audience. How do you feel knowing he must be nearby?
Well, I think given that the name is already on there, I certainly would be on the alert. I mean, I'm definitely going to, as I'm walking through, I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled, my ears alert for the name Numair being spoken or any sight of him.
So, as I say, you're being ushered near to the front of the crowds. You can hear more fanfares. In the beautifully arched and domed central room in the palace, with actual flowers growing over many of the surfaces, light streaming in through beautifully glazed windows, is a semicircular table with a understated but elegant throne on top and equally beautiful chairs around it, which are slowly being occupied by people who you assume would be the rulers of the Elven Empire. The great, wonderful, beneficent Elven Empire, we hope. As they, as people take their seats, a hush begins to descend upon the crowd. Even the annoying Furbolg functionary who is testing everyone seems in awe as a fanfare blares out, and coming down from what must be her private apartments, further into the steps, the Queen Sisantra of the Elven Empire. Various people make representations. The Mayor of Tourmaline welcomes the Sealy Courts to be sitting here. There are various other matters which perhaps you are not interested in to do.
Bored.
The sort of things that happen at council meetings across the world, even in
bored.
The business of good government, perhaps. At some point, people who make alertness will probably spot something. Hint, hint, make some alertness rolls.
I'm great on my roll.
Inferior.
Cool. Some of you notice and can probably nudge Chris if you want that at some point a somewhat put upon looking pup and various functionaries of his and nomads, including the mayor, have entered the chamber and are in what must be the more the area is reserved for people who actually have proper business.
Right. She got
Gummy.
Numair noogied Puck enough to actually get into the diplomatic box.
Well, indeed. I mean, who knows what Numair may feel he has over.
What are you doing over there, Rod?
Nothing.
Demons out of his
Warming up
dice,
your dice, trying to get him to roll, to roll well. It's like, come on. I know you can do it.
And then I feel the moment comes and you are summoned forward.
Oh boy.
Introduced at great length by the functionary, because you gave him great length to use, and boy does he love that sort of thing.
Although the actual content of our introduction, I'm kind of interested in watching Puck and Numair if they're visible to see what they think when they hear all these things reeled off, which could easily be plucked from those very documents that we have been reviewing today.
Would you like to make an empathy roll? See how they respond as this is reading their body language and facial expression.
Yeah, well, wish I'd had this roll, which is a 65, regarding my sister last night, but my empathy, which has never been stellar, I have attempted to bring it up over time, and I have actually. I brought it up 2 notches, so therefore my 65 is passable.
Okay. Well, you certainly see it has an effect on them. They may even have been listening, and they're certain. And your supposed employer is looking daggers at you. But let's face it, he never seemed particularly keen to employ you. So
No,
he only has himself to blame for that.
Mm-hmm.
Freelancer's going to freelance. Right. So the Cassandra herself says she is delighted to have representatives from the Hillfolk canton come to speak here, and is interested to hear what you have to say.
Hit her, Christabel.
All right. Your Majesty, I am a simple woman of simple folk, and so I will say the point directly first, but I do have some wit for me. I'm here to beg your Majesty to use the Elven Empire's power to promote peace throughout the southern regions of this great continent and to end the long-standing conflict between the nomads and the hillfolk. At the very least, to
quit paying for it.
To refrain from intercession that may inflame the destructive effect of the conflict. To testify to the effects, I have here a young man and a young woman who have lived in the conflict zone all their lives, and I would like to give them a chance to speak.
Okay. She nods, and Shem and Layla are allowed to speak their piece, and are certainly able to describe in quite heartfelt way the many terrible aspects of living in the contested border region between the Hillfolk and the Nomad, and of being persecuted minorities, and of being living with the threat and shadow of war over themselves, over their families, over themselves. How this has driven them to far from their homes, driven them into doing things perhaps they wish they hadn't done. And they will certainly be giving you a few column shifts to a role that may be coming up.
Good.
I'd like to as well point out that I'm here as a member of the Starry Night family from Smith City, which has been drawn into these intrigues through representatives or members of your very own government who have been engaged in supplying the very people who are committing these harsh acts. And so, yes, that's my call, is to add. I'm filling in some details of what her agents have been up to, smuggling Hydra's teeth through the Starry Night family to people who are effectively death squads, and indeed in the service of slavers. In fact, this woman here could easily inform you of the policies and practices of the very people that you yourself were just speaking to earlier today.
And at this point, Girl would step forth and give a short account of my enslavement at the services of conducting what Numair claimed to be a holy war, but was clearly anything but a holy war. And right, it was, that people are profiting off of this upheaval that is coming at great human cost. People are either profiting economically from it, or they're profiting politically from it, and it's all coming off the backs of individuals and groups that do not have the resources to effectively defend themselves.
And notably children who are dragged into the conflict and turned into weapons, like these two people and like Girl.